Mention machinery, you can't get around the bearings, from small carts to giant power plants and more. In industrial equipment, many equipments are inseparable from bearings. If you think that the only bearings are ball bearings, so today's video, it will give you a new understanding of bearings. First, the ball bearings, also one of the most common bearing types, it has a row of spherical balls. These balls is fixed between two ring-shaped metal keys. These two metal bonds are called the inner ring and the outer ring. The inner ring can rotate freely. The outer ring is fixed. Ball bearings, during rolling, can reduce most friction, but the load carrying capacity is limited. Ball bearings are also divided into many types, can be based on different needs. Choose different types of bearings, such as deep groove ball bearings, angular contact ball bearing, spherical ball bearings and thrust ball bearings. Where the angular contact the ball bearing, there are raceways on its inner and outer rings. Moreover, the inner and outer rings can move relative to each other along the axial direction of the bearing. This type of bearing is particularly suitable for carrying heavy loads, that is, loads acting simultaneously in the radial and axial directions. Self-aligning ball bearings. This kind of ball bearing has deep grooves on the inner ring. Similar to deep groove ball bearings, it has two rows of balls and raceways. Automatically adjusts when shaft and housing deflection occurs. Then thrust ball bearing, it is characterized by low noise, running smoothly, can withstand high-speed operation. Next, let's look at another type of bearing, roller bearing. Roller bearing, precise positioning of each component can be maintained, withstand huge transient loads over long periods of time, suitable for machines that need to start and stop frequently. Linear contact between the roller and its chain. The point contact between the ball and its chain is, therefore, the load capacity of roller bearings is higher. Roller bearings include cylindrical roller bearings, spherical roller bearings and tapered roller bearings are different type. Among them, cylindrical roller bearings, it uses the line contact between the rolling elements and the raceway to optimize the stress distribution at the contact point. This bearing has a very high radial load capacity. Then there are spherical roller bearings. This bearing is very strong. The working principle is similar to that of sling ball bearings. Tapered roller bearings contain rollers of tapered cross-section installed between two rings that are also cone-shaped cross-sections. If the shaft of the ring and roller is extended, they will meet at a common point. Tapered roller bearing design used to bear radial and axial composite loads. There are also needle roller bearings. It is a special cylindrical roller bearing, contains long, thin rolling elements. This bearing has a high load capacity, but only suitable for bearing influence. Plain bearings are the simplest bearings, usually only consists of inner ring and outer ring, no rolling elements. Plain bearings for rotary sliding, reciprocating or oscillating motion, suitable for agriculture, automobile, ship and construction industries. There are also fluid bearings. It is a special bearing, relies on compressed gas or liquid to carry loads and eliminate friction. They are used to replace short-lived, noisy and vibrating metal bearings. This type of bearing is used in high-speed and high-load machines. Despite the high cost, but in harsh environment, can maintain a longer service life. Magnetic bearings utilize the concept of magnetic levitation. Suspend the middle of the shaft in mid-air, because there is no physical contact, so magnetic bearings are zero-wear bearings. There is also no limit to how fast it can process. Magnetic bearings can also accommodate irregular shaft centers, because the position of the axis is automatically adjusted according to its axis. Gem bearing is a kind of plain bearing. A metal shaft rotates in a gem-set shaft hole. The shaft hole is usually annular in shape, slightly smaller than shaft diameter. Large gemstones are usually artificial sapphires or rubies, need to meet low friction, long life and high dimensional accuracy requirements. The biggest use is in mechanical watches. The last one is the spring bearing. This is a class designed to, at one or more angles, flexible, bendable bearings, functions as a conventional bearing and hinge, very low friction, no lubrication required. Spring bearings are simple and cost-effective, and more compact and lightweight, easy to repair without specialist equipment. However, the disadvantage of spring bearings is their limited range of motion. So everyone here, what types of bearings have you come into contact with?